When I read my uncle's email at 8 a.m. in Brussels, I hardly noticed that his Skype avatar had turned lifelessly grey and that his Viber profile no longer displayed a photo of him in the lotus pose. My attention was riveted by Vladimir's message. He wrote many outrageous things. America had brainwashed me. American capitalism had killed my father. But what struck a nerve was that we, meaning our family, owed the Soviet Union a debt of gratitude. The thought that anyone should long for a regime whose name was synonymous with totalitarianism struck me as obscene. I couldn't believe that my uncle, an avid practitioner of yoga and a keen photographer, had turned apologist for the atrocities of the Soviet Union. The USSR had hacked so ruthlessly at my family tree, decimating us in wars, famines, and purges, that we had paid dearly for the 7 decades of Soviet socialism. The more I sifted through the memories from my Soviet childhood in Ukraine and recalled the squalor of our lives in the 80s, the more my throat clenched and my temples throbbed. I closed my laptop, stepped over to the window and pressed my forehead against the cold glass. The gabled buildings of Brussels glistened after recent rain, and heavy clouds still hung over a dark line of trees in the distance that marked the outer limits of the city. I exhaled slowly onto the glass, watching the red roofs fade to pale orange. A few seconds later, however, the mist from my breath cleared, and everything sprung back to life, more vivid than before. But my thoughts remained in disarray. Vladimir was my father's older brother. I had lost my father 3 years before, and Vladimir remained the only link to that side of my family. We were born in the same country, Ukraine. We spoke the same language, Russian. We each now lived in places where nobody knew us as children, as Vladimir liked to say.